What's up, family? Welcome back. Thank you for tuning in, taking your time to pick my channel to tune into, to watch and gain knowledge, gain inspiration. I appreciate that. Thank you for coming back. And if you're a new subscriber or just someone that came on and saw my channel, I appreciate you stopping by. If you can, please like, share, and subscribe. Then growing this channel, I'm reaching for 1,000, and with your help, we can get there. All right, guys. So, anyways, we're going to talk about a very important topic and spirituality, okay, and how it's become perverted in a way. And I'll branch out here in a second, guys. So, for many of us spiritual people, those who use our throats to speak out, right? Our energy to alchemize energies being sent at us, all of these different things, right? True spiritualists, true healers, right? Those who won't send an evil spell or won't even resort to spell work, all of that stuff, all of that very taboo, nasty things. I'm going to tell you why I say this, guys. Okay, I respect more than anything Jesus Christ of Nazareth and his walk on this world, and how God came down in human form, spirit in human form. Okay, I respect that. Okay, the purity of what he did, his walk and what he did for others, the purity of that. Okay, and that's what I hold today, is that purity, that walk, right, with conviction. All right, see where the church got involved. All right, man got involved and started running things. That's when it got bad. That's when human nature really kicked in. And I'm not downing the church. I'm not downing Catholicism, Christianity, because it does hold a place in people's lives where they can open up to spirituality. They can go and be touched by the Holy Spirit. All right, stuff like that, to really get on track in their lives and go to a place with like-minded individuals and worship. Okay, and it keeps people on a straight path in life. All right, for those who are really in church, to be in church and to worship and all that, you know, I I'm grateful for that. Okay, my brother is a pastor. My brother, you know, great man, would do anything for anyone. All right, but see, this is where religion becomes perverted in a way. You'll have people who turn a church into a coven. You understand that? Where they'll use that as a cover up for what they're really doing, right? They're already hip to spirituality, so they kick it up a few notches. And then they get into like necromancy. They get into all of these, into full blown witchcraft, all that, because they have all these spiritual beings around and they're all feeding off each other's energy, okay? And calling upon deities, calling upon all these different things that totally contradict what Jesus was on this planet. Do you understand it? Jesus was on this planet for a purpose, right? To set the baseline, to set precedents. All right. We had already done away with Egypt and all of the old gods and stuff. We have already done away with that. And Jesus set a baseline for humanity on earth for us. Even those who come to earth to learn, right? We incarnate on earth, and this becomes our school. We understand what was, but Jesus came to earth, and we're here to learn Jesus, not to reach back to our old ways and run things like that. All right, that's what Jesus truly represented. See, then you have these people in the church who created this coven. They call on necromancy, they call on all these different things, and then they go out and they start trying to attach spirits to people. They try to attach spirits to people. They try to uh, astral project into people's homes, stuff like that. They really do that. I caught a church doing that. All right, I know where my spiritual attacks come from. All right, I know, but I'm not going to sit there and talk down about a church. I'm explaining to you what some people within a church can turn a good church into a coven. It happens all across America, all across the globe. It does. And God sees it. God sees it. That's what God put me in this world at this point in time for this moment. All right, to explain this to you guys. All right. So, anyways, see, you have to think about this, guys. We're also under attack by people who are spiritualists, right? Spiritualists are under attack by churches because we don't align with their man's beliefs, like the guidelines that man created within the church, other than the gospels. You understand that? They think that we're out there trying to rip people from the church and send them down a dark path. There are people within the church that do that. That was the same thing with Jesus Christ of Nazareth when he was walking on earth. He fought against the Pharisees because he wasn't in alignment with their beliefs. See how this becomes biblical? See how I'm tying all of these things together? And then hence you have an instant coven, right? Because you saw what they did to Jesus. They corroborated his death, even though it was his purpose, but look how far they went. See how I'm tying these things together? And God sees the attacks on me. He saw the attacks on me. He saw how somebody from a church tried to attach a spirit to me. He saw it all. They don't think he was watching because some of these people who go to church, right, and they create covens, somehow they get to a point where they don't believe in God anymore, right? They believe that they're God, that they're the ones, right? That they're going to run it all, that type of thing. They get that. That's called demons, dude. Demons all up in them. And they're out there trying to think that we're the ones trying to take people down dark paths. See, we're out here being above board with it while they're off in the darkness in covens. See how that's how Jesus did it. He called them out. All right. And it came to a point where we found out who the Pharisees truly was back then. All right, guys. So just know, guys, that don't think bad of a church because there are some bad apples, but yes, a coven can come from a church. See, a lot of them are too ashamed to say that they are because they have to promote or they have to project a facade, a mask for the neighborhood to see, right? If anybody knew there was a church or a coven inside of a church, it'd be your word against theirs, right? That type of thing. But yet I'm still here talking about it. All right. So I hope you guys get something from this because this is biblical times we're living in. The old ways are breaking away. We're going into 1,000 years of pure light. All right, pure light. And what Jesus' foundations, what he set on earth, they're still here. They always will be here. But some of the man-made foundations that uh, that how do I want to say that? Man-made foundations that capitalized on Jesus Christ of Nazareth. Let's just say that. Capitalized, those are breaking away. More people are turning to spirituality and more people are seeing certain churches for what they really are. All right. I believe, like I said, I believe in church. I was baptized. I believe, I believe in the purity of what Jesus represented, why God came down in human form. I believe in that purity of it. That's the way I walk in my life. I won't wish ill will on people. I won't use witchcraft. I won't resort to the things that these covens resort to. The covens that are running under the guise of being a church. I don't do that and it blows their minds. It warps their minds thinking I'm doing something I'm not. Why? Because I walk in alignment with God and they don't. You understand it? I know you guys do. You're smart. Thank you for being here, guys. I appreciate you. Please like, share, and subscribe to this content. You get the truth, you get reality, you get love, you get inspiration and compassion and understanding for all walks of life, all people. All right, guys. Thank you. I'll see you guys in the next one. God bless.